Mhm. Hi, folks. Welcome to Half and Half this morning. Happy to be here this morning. We had a little bit of weird tech at the very beginning, but just a minute or two behind. I have a stool. I have a strap. We're going to be working with those a lot this semester. So, getting into some shoulder rib mobility and some balance work and some strap work. So, sitting towards the front edge of your stool, hopefully, kind of a hard surface chair or stool. So you can really feel your sits bones, and then do a little bit of like finding your sits bones, rolling back and forth a little, back edge of your sits bone, top of your sits bone, front edge of your sits bone. You might think of this as like cat, cow that you do on hands and knees, but you're doing it sitting on your chair. And then find what feels like the top sort of center of your sits bone. And then maybe just like half an inch, roll it forward slightly towards the front edge of the sits bone. A little bit of tone in your belly, easy chest and shoulders. And then we'll start moving the shoulders around a little bit. Shoulder blades scooping back and together and rolling forward. And as they go together and apart, there's generally, it's not a fully linear movement. It's sort of like a little undercurve. So it goes down and apart and then scoop down and back together. Sorry, a cat just knocked something over. It distracted me. Down and apart and back together. And then just letting that naturally move into a circle. And thinking of the shoulder blades really moving around. You're not just pulling from your upper arm, you're letting the shoulder blade actually circle around on your back. Your collarbones roll around. Excuse me. Might make you sneeze, I guess. And then circle the other direction. A little bit thinking of these shoulder circles being almost a massage for your neck. Muscles turning off and on. Then letting the shoulders release. And then let's let your arms hang just down by your side. Feel the weight of your arms, your fingers, your wrists, your forearms, elbows, arms, collarbones, shoulder blades, sits bones, and then spine floating up. Just really easy turn side to side with the neck. Now, notice the quality of your neck muscles as you do it. A lot of times you hit an edge and everything tightens. When you feel that moment where everything tightens, relax it and feel like you float a little farther around because you're relaxing your neck. This movement right here, I find as I get older, I do it less and less. I sort of avoid it in my daily life. Like, I don't want to turn my neck this far. I'll just turn my whole body, or I just won't look behind me. And that is just making my neck stiffer. Just a little look around the corner, whatever your range is. And then coming back to center, we'll take a little roll forward. Head, upper back, chest, ribs. All the way down. As you get down to the bottom, feel your feet. Relax your heels and your ankles. Relax the back of your knees. And then your sits bones should feel like they're kind of rolled off the chair. So first thing, try to find your sits bones back on the chair. And feel if your balls of your feet press or your heels press. Can you feel really the whole foot pressing? Arms can keep hanging right up back onto your sits bones. Two more of those. Exhale, rolling forward. And as I get farther and farther forward, I feel how my weight on my feet shifts around. And I keep thinking about my heels, my soft ankles, the balls of my feet, my toes. And then whole foot helps you roll back up as the sits bones reach for the chair. And one more time. All right, we're going to take a little bit of movement up to standing, and it's a little like a squat. We'll go down and up. Now, take a look at the angle of my shin and my foot, right? So if my heel is right underneath my shin, it's going to be very hard to get off the stool. So I want to pull it back a little bit. And then as I do that, what happens is my shin's going to tighten, right? It's going to tighten. So when I think of releasing the front of my ankle, that's to get my shin to let go a little more, so my knee can bend a little more, so my ankle can release a little more, so my heel can stay grounded. So you're going to play with where you want your feet. I'm going to pull my feet back even a little farther so that I can feel my heels, release my ankles. My knees are pretty forward over my toes, but I'm not lifting my heels off the ground, right? I want to keep my heels in place. And then from there, I'm going to take the whole spine forward, shift my weight onto my feet, and up to standing. And then that whole thing coming back, the pelvis goes back, my sits bones are reaching to the stool, my knees are reaching forward, and I find the stool and back to sitting. And then the whole spine lengthens, soft hips, soft ankles, knees forward, heels down, and pelvis forward up to standing, pelvis back, and back to the chair. And again, shifting, pressing through the feet and up. This time we're going to do a couple squats without sitting. So wherever that is for you, knees forward, ankles release, heels down, pelvis back, and then back up. And then same thing again, shifting. And maybe you get low enough that you touch the chair. Maybe you don't. Like, what do your knees do for you? What do your feet do for you? You don't have to touch the chair. And 3 more. Exhale. Using your abdominals still. Lowering down, foot on the floor. Easy shoulders. Last one. All the way up to standing. All right. Put the stool out of the way. Maybe you noticed I secretly grabbed my strap on the way up. Grab yours if you haven't done so yet. Holding over. Feet in parallel. And hands about shoulder distance apart. Now let's start with a little bend in your knees. Not the squat, right? So now my body is straight up and down, which means I cannot go very low. This always lets me go lower, right? So just a little bit down and back up. And a little bit down, spine stays straight up and down like your sits bones are reaching to the chair again, like you're sitting in the chair again a little more. Heels stay down. And then pulling on the strap, little pull out. Inhale, exhale, pull and release. So now feeling the shoulder blades. Maybe you add a little bit of that easy neck turn in there, just to check. 2 more. One more time, pull, little bend in your knees and up to shoulder height. And inhale and bending. So like my back was sliding up and down a wall, straight up and down the whole time. Two more. One more time, up and hold it and release, and shoulder blades pull wide and exhale, and collarbones wide, and easy feeling in the neck. It's not that my neck doesn't work at all. It just has a little sense of ease. It's not gripping. Two more. One more time, pull out and hold it. Little bend in the knees, arms up overhead. And inhale, exhale. Shoulder blades glide up, collarbones glide up. Just to shoulder height. Up, just to shoulder height. Two more. One more time, up and stay. Little pulls out. Wide back, wide collarbones. Ribs are still drawing in. And still weight through your heels and the balls of your feet. Add, inhale, exhale. Maybe you feel a little work in your neck, but every time you release the strap, some of that work releases. One more time. Bend your knees. Shoulders go up and together, apart and down. Up and together, gliding down. Feeling the movement of the shoulder girdle as a coordinated movement. Collarbones, shoulder blades, and arms all are making the same movement. And one more time. And then we're going to do this very fashion forward. Take the strap around your neck, right? Just so it's out of the way. Maybe it's not very fashion forward. All right, let's do a little bit with balance, starting with that same movement with the knees and the heels, bending the knees, left heel lifts, bending the knees, right heel lifts. So there's just the sense that the pelvis goes down, shifts to one foot, and then it goes down and it shifts to the other foot. And bend, shift, bend, shift. So I line up my standing leg through my pelvis and the top of my head. All right, and if you want to take it into a balance this time now, up, all the way off, and down, all the way off. So you could take it just to the tips of your toes. You could take it up to your ankle or your calf. You could take it up to your knee for that balance. I'm going to just hang my arms here, right? Just finding it. And shift, up, and shift, and up. And then both feet together. Strap comes out again. All right, we add that in. So you pull out, inhale, and release. And pull, and release. Inhale, exhale, pull, and easy neck. And inhale, release, pull, release. And two more. One more time, pull out, just the knee bends, and up to shoulder height. And bend. Both heels down the whole time. Feeling the heel and the ball of the foot. Two more. Now take it up and hold it there and release the tension and pulling out. And six more of these. You do 8 of everything. Nice little routine to take into your everyday practice. One more time, pull it out. Bend your knees. Now we do the heel lift and up and lower. 8 of these. Inhale, lower, and reach, and lower. And inhale. One more each side. And up, and both heels down. 8 pulls. And inhale, and release. And pull, and release. And ribs keep drawing in. Shoulder blades keep gliding up. Heels keep sinking down. Two more. Pull out and hold it. So shoulder blades go with the balance. tapping together. Find your balance. And reach and lower. And reach. Exhale. One more set. And up and lower. And release it. All right. Strap goes away. We're going to do one more little balance exercise here. So both knees bend straight down with your spine. Both heels lift up. Your knees slide forward. Both heels come down. And you straighten. So it's related to all these movements we've been doing. Think of the knees going forward. Heels drop way down and straighten. And bend and shift. Heels lengthen back. Ankles release. Straighten. And bend. Ooh, lost it. Lift, lower, and straighten. We're going to try a little addition. Heels lift. This time, straighten your legs. Bend your knees. Lower and straighten. And bend. Heels lift. Use your belly to straighten. Bend. Lower and up. And two more. Bend. Lift. Straight up. Bend. Lower. And last one. Bend. Lift. Push up and bend and lower and stretch. All right, let's make our way down to the floor. Standing, roll down, bending your knees, opening your back, letting your arms hang, your head hang, and just rolling all the way down through your spine. And then however you like, find your way to the floor. Take your feet out in front of you. Roll onto your back. And take a moment really feeling your back. I was asking you to be aware of your back body a lot in the last few things we did, but there was no feedback. So now you get to have the awareness you built, but also get feedback from the floor that tends to build even more awareness because you're feeling your shoulder blades on the floor, feeling the back of the head on the floor and the pelvis on the floor. All right, hands to your ribs. Let's find your rib connection. So you breathe in, and as you exhale, ribs are drawing together a little more, finding that sense of the belly. Inhale, lower belly, finding that connection there, not grabbing your neck as you do it. So we're going to keep the head on the floor. We're going to see if you can relax your neck and draw your ribs in at the same time and draw your belly in. One leg floats up, using your whole center, your whole core. Second leg floats up, tabletop, knees together. 100 with the head down, or at least 50 with the head down, and feeling it in your belly. Inhale, 5. Exhale. So as your legs move a little farther away to knees over hips, maybe your neck starts getting pulled, right? Your shoulders start getting pulled. Can you keep your head down, your neck relaxed, your ribs and your belly working? And then just see where your legs go. Inhale and exhale. Now we're going to do 50 more. Keep your head down or bring your head up. Either way, you should basically feel the same work in your belly. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more. Right. I'm going to take your left leg down and out. Bend your right knee in. Hold the back of your thigh. All right, let everything relax. Inhale, stretch your leg up. Flex your foot. Reach your heel down. Point the foot, stretch the leg up. Now, as you flex your foot, it's that release the front of the ankle, reach the heel to the floor, and squat. thing we were doing standing, right? Same idea. One more time. Flex the foot, release the ankle, let the knee fold. And one more time up. Leave your leg up, flexing your left foot, and feel that kind of standing foot feeling through the left leg. And then, like we did in the 100, find a nice abdominal support with the head down and the neck relaxed. And then use that in your leg circles. Inhale across and up. Inhale across. Exhale around and up. Inhale, circle. Imagine you were standing on your left leg and finding balance. And reverse your circle. Nice wide shoulder blades, wide collarbones. 3 more. Easy neck. Last one. Now a little bonus exercise if you want it. Lower your leg slowly to the floor using your belly. Bend your left knee in. Hold the back of your leg. And point as you go up. Flex. Release your ankle. Draw your heel down. Point. Reaching up. Flex your foot. Imagine you relax the front of your ankle as you flex your foot. It's very different than a lot of times we really tense the front of the ankle to flex the foot. Imagine you get a little softer. Reach the heel down. One more time. Reaching up. Leave it there. Stand on your right foot. Find your abdominal connection. Hands come by your side and inhale, leg goes across. Exhale, circle around. Inhale, exhale. Ribs stay connected without grabbing your neck. One more time. And reverse it. Three more. Standing on the right foot. And bend. And then use that leg to find your way up to sitting. And over onto hands and knees. All right, hands in line with your shoulders, knees right under your hips. So remember when we were standing, pulling out on the strap with the arms right in front of you. So here we are, same kind of position. Nice wide back, wide shoulders, connected ribs, connected belly. Now, let's take a moment and check in with the fronts of your shins. So now the front of the ankle is released and long, right? So not folding the ankle, but a nice long ankle. Imagine you relax the front of your ankle, the front of your shin, a little more. And as you do that, it allows the shin to feel a little heavier, either on the floor or off the floor, a little heavier. And at the same time, notice the arch of your foot, because maybe it wants to cramp when you do that. Mine does a little. So just check in there too and imagine the arch of the foot gets to lengthen and relax as you relax your ankle, as you relax your shin. And then left arm and right leg, reach out. Notice how the left shin wants to kind of wobble, grab, and just try to keep relaxing it down. Bring it all back in. Take a moment on both. Set everything up. And then right arm, left leg, go out. Let the right shin relax and stay steady. It might move around a little bit, but just let it keep kind of sinking. Aware of that. And bring it all back in. And opposite arm and leg reach. Feel the wide shoulder blade on that hand that's pushing into the floor. Connect through your belly, through your center. Bring it back down. Opposite arm and leg. Bring it back down. Sitting back, reaching forward. Coming back onto your hands and knees. All right, now you could repeat what we just did. It'd be great. If you don't want to go to this next thing we're going to do, which is going to be working towards a plank. So you could either do that opposite arm and leg again, or you could follow me through this plank, getting into plank. So we're going to keep both hands down. We're going to reach your right leg back and tuck the toes like you're doing a plank, and then just hold that position. Press both hands, press the right foot, draw your ribs, draw your belly in, and then reach the left foot. Both feet. Couple breaths. Wide shoulders. Now standing on your left foot, take the right leg in. And then take the left knee in. All right, we're going to start with the other leg this time. Left foot goes back, and just the left foot for a moment. Find your wide collarbones, wide upper back. Feel the left toes spreading out, and draw that into your belly. Reach your left heel back and feel the front of the ankle release. Now just push down with those 3 points and feel how the right leg eventually starts to float. Then you glide it back. Left knee floats in. Right knee floats in. And sitting back into child's pose. Hands come under your shoulders. Let's tuck your toes under. One more roll up to standing, stretching the legs. Find your heels, find the balls of your feet. Soften your ankles as your knees glide forward, but your heels stay down. Unroll your spine like your sits bones were finding the chair. And all the way back up to standing. All right, it's handoff time. Scott looks pretty ready to go over there. Although earlier he was playing with the cat, so sometimes there's a little drifting off.
All right. Hey there, hi there. Top of the morning. Good morning. So let's begin in standing. Your feet comfortably hip width apart and dropping weight down into your feet, including your toes. So last week, we rolled out that we're going to be doing some orienting work, which is a form of mindfulness. And orienting, if you recall, involves rotating side to side. And what I've observed over the years is for a lot of people, their neck is restricted way up high. And that can make the neck feel stiff and tight, can even relate to soreness between the shoulder blades. So before we do the orienting, we're going to work a little bit on releasing the uppermost neck. To do that, nod yes. Now the key thing here is that the movement is smaller rather than bigger. If the movement is really big, it tends to come from the lower neck. And when the movement is really small, it tends to arise from the upper neck. And what we're looking for here is a sense that it's your skull gliding atop the neck, almost like a teeter-totter pivots on its fulcrum. Let your skull pivot atop cervical 1, C1. Now let that little nodding movement trail off. And now to mobilize the next segment down, cervical 2, C2. Little turn side to side, like you're shaking your head no. We just nodded yes. It may seem like we're indecisive. Now shaking your head no. Again, less is more. Smaller movement tends to come from the intended place. Bigger movement tends to come where neck is already mobile. Now let that movement trail off. Now bring to mind an infinity sign, like a sideways number 8. Now with your nose, trace an infinity sign. You feel how that's bringing those two movements together? It's a little bit nodding your head yes. It's a little bit shaking your head no. And the goal is to use these techniques to loosen up, to liberate your upper neck. Now let this figure 8 movement trail off. All right. Now, little turn side to side, and let it include not just your lower neck, but also your upper neck, where your neck meets your skull. And as you orient, taking in your room, the colors, the windows, the art, and even if you observe that maybe things are a little messy, as best you can, just seeing the mess, even though it may be a little bit worrisome, or best you can, just seeing the objects. Now let that movement trail off and back in toward the middle. Sumo squat. Step your feet wide apart. From your hip sockets, turn both legs out. And similar to what you did earlier, knees forward. Bend from your hips. Let your torso come forward. And then come on up. Down, up. Couple more. Then both feet back toward the front. One leg. Turn your left foot in, right foot out. Bend. Straighten. Bend. Straight. Now, in my body, I sometimes find that I hold tension at the junction of my neck and skull. A lot of people do. And so, not uncommonly, as I go about my day, I'll sometimes make little tiny figure eights, just like we did earlier, as a reminder to release that tension. Next time your knee in the bent position, pause there. And if you tend to experience neck tension or tension between your shoulder blades, I invite you to make those little figure eights. Remember, less is more. You could make this movement so small that nobody can see that you're doing it. All right. Now tip your hips, hand to knee, hand to hip. Sweep that upper arm forward and through. Take a little peek up at your ceiling and see if you can rotate from up near your skull. And then come on up and back to the front. One-legged sumo to the other side. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Now, if I was to walk down the street making that figure eight movement, and it was a really big movement, I'd probably look somewhat peculiar. But remember, the benefits come from the small movement more than the big movement. And I bet right now you can make that little tiny reminder to release tension. Nobody needs to know that you're doing it. Not uncommon that people try and hold their body up from their head. Next time your knee is bent, let's pause there. As best you can, maintaining that ease at the junction of neck and head. Tip your hips. Sweep your upper arm forward and through. Little turn. And come on up. Back to the front. First side again. Loose neck bend. Loose neck tip. A little deeper this time. Elbow to knee. Upper arm up. And then turn your nose to the floor. Come on up. Back to the front. Second side. Bend. Tip. Upper arm up. Nose to the floor. Come on up. Back to the front. And step your feet together. So we'll take the next few moments quietly. And if you're finding that this little movement at the junction of neck and head is useful for you, a little time to practice it. And if you're making that little movement, let it trail off. Now let's turn our attention to the fronts of the hips. Start by bringing your hands to your hips. Step your left foot back. And then propel forward from your back foot and ankle. Draw back from your back foot and ankle. Let your head come along for the ride. The next time that back heel's up in the air, let's pause there. And reach that left heel back and down. Release the base of your skull. Your arms forward. Sweep them up. And back to standing. Second side. Hands to your hips. Right foot back. Forward. Back. Forward. Back. Next time that back heel's up in the air, let's pause there. Reach your right heel back and down. That heel's on the floor, both arms forward. Releasing the junction of skull and neck. Arms up, chin up. And back to standing. Little figure 8 movement. Let that movement trickle down, rotating side to side. So this is a form of mindfulness practice. It's called orienting. Orienting in your room. And there's just so much stuff that we tend to ignore or bypass. For example, the light switches, the outlets, oftentimes the artwork or the paint color. So just simply seeing your room, being in the place that you are, and back in toward the middle. Hands to your hips, feet wide apart. Feet wide apart, fold from your hips until you feel a little bit of pull in your legs and hips, or until your torso is horizontal. Holding, holding, holding. Come on up into your right side. Left foot in, right foot out. Left foot a little bit more in. Same magnitude of the fold until you start to bump into some resistance or a stretch, or until your torso is horizontal. Then turn away from your screen. Shoulder closest to the floor. That hand to your shin. Holding, holding, holding. Come on up. Back to the front. All right. What we just did to the one side, we're going to do to the other side. This time we're going to do it quietly together. Back to the middle. Remember how we folded forward the first time through? We kept the spine straight. Now let your spine round, spine flexion. Maybe it's fingertips on the floor, maybe it's hands on your shins. And then rolling up. Ease at that junction of head and neck. Feet together. Now we're going to do 3 modified sun salutations together. Exhale, knit your ribs. Remember what that felt like? Keep that vital connection. Inhale, arms up, chin up. Exhale, roll your spine forward. Inhale, gorilla. So maybe hands on the floor, maybe hands on your shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, arms down. Again like that. Inhale up. Here's a chance to mobilize your spine. Start with the top of your spine, your neck, and mobilize your spine from top to bottom. Inhale forward, mainly from between your shoulder blades. Exhale, fold. Now we're going to mobilize the spine from bottom to top. Now, most people are really stiff between the shoulder blades. So when the arms go up, lower ribs shove forward. To get the most benefit, keep that connection. Exhale, find that connection, ribs to abdomen. Now it's hard to maintain it best you can. Inhale up. Exhale, mobilize your spine from top to bottom. Inhale, mobilize your spine between the shoulder blades. Exhale, fold. Inhale, mobilize your spine from bottom to top. Arms down. All right. Now, make your way to the floor best you can, smoothly, evenly. You're going to do a twist. Left foot forward. If you don't feel a pinch in your groin, feel free to bring that foot up and over. Left arm comes across to give a hug. Right hand behind. And breathe. Back in toward the middle. Switch legs. Any pinch in the groin is not a good sign. Please don't force it to bring that foot across. Second side. And back in toward the middle. Your belly. So on your belly, first position is yoga pose, locust pose. Reach your arms back. And in time with practice, it's like you're going to balance on your pubic bone. Legs up, torso. And then come on down. And then classic cobra. Hands forward. Press your hands down to lift just your head, just your chest, not your legs. And come on down. Push up the hands and knees. Move into sitting. So maybe sitting on that stool. Maybe sitting on a cushion. Ideally not sitting on a sofa. Because if you lean it up against something, then it's really hard for your back ribs to move with the breathing. So whatever you may be sitting upon, deepen your inhale. And inhaling sufficiently deeply that you can feel your back ribs expand with the in-breath. It doesn't have to be your deepest possible breath. Just deep enough that you can feel your back ribs as you inhale, broaden and lift. Right. This is a building upon the foundation of all that great strap work. If I wouldn't have been so busy playing with the cat, I would have been joining you doing the strap work. Let's take a few more deep breaths. Please keep in mind, you don't want to do deep breathing all day, every day. Little bit goes a long way. Now, with this out breath, let go of the deep breathing. Relax your gaze. As your gaze relaxes, let your gaze include the periphery. Where your head meets your neck. Relax any tension that accumulates there. All right. How's that practice for y'all? Half Pilates, half movement lab. So before we close for the day, any comments out there? Any questions? Doesn't look like it. Well, thank you so much. Really great to be here with you all. We do this every Saturday, so please tell your friends, coworkers, family members, neighbors, strangers, passersby to have them come join us. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next Saturday. Bye-bye.